You're walking down a staircase. Your foot meets air instead of wood. Before your mind even registers the mistake, your arm shoots out. Your hand grabs the railing. Your heart slams against your ribs. And only then, a full half-second later, does a thought finally arrive. You almost fell. That gap matters. In that gap is the answer to something stranger than it looks. Your body moved before you did. Not before your body moved you. The thinking part. The part that feels like the one in charge. So who was driving? Scientists have a name for this. They call it the startle reflex, and it is one of the fastest things a human body can do. Faster than blinking. Faster than flinching from a hot stove. It takes about 80 milliseconds. Your conscious brain, the part that narrates your life and makes your decisions, runs nearly 10 times slower than that, which means by the time you decide to grab the railing, you have already grabbed it. This isn't a glitch, it's an inheritance. Picture your ancestor 4 million years ago moving through tall grass on the edge of a riverbank. The ground there is unstable. A branch can snap. A root can give way. A predator can be 3 feet away in grass too thick to see through. In that world, the humans who survived long enough to have children were not the ones who calmly assessed the situation. They were the ones who reacted before they understood what was happening at all. Neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux spent decades studying exactly this pathway. He mapped what he called the low road, a shortcut in the brain that sends danger signals straight to the amygdala, bypassing the cortex entirely. The cortex is where conscious thought happens. The low road skips it. It has to. Thought is slow. Survival in that ancient grass could not wait for thought. So your brain built a second system, a faster one that acts first and explains itself later. You can feel this system every single day and you almost never notice it. You're driving and a car merges into your lane. Your foot is on the brake before your eyes have finished processing the shape of the other vehicle. You're holding a hot pan, and your fingers release it a fraction of a second before the word hot forms in your mind. A loud bang goes off behind you, and your shoulders jump toward your ears before you've even turned around to look. In every one of these moments, something inside you already knew, and it knew faster than you did. This raises an uncomfortable question. If your body can act, decide, and protect you without consulting the conscious part of your mind, the part that feels like you, then how much of your life is actually being run by something else? Psychologist Daniel Kahneman spent his career mapping this divide. He described 2 systems operating inside every human mind. System 1 is fast, automatic, and emotional. It doesn't ask permission. It doesn't weigh evidence. It reacts. System 2 is slow, deliberate, and logical. It's the one that feels like thinking, the one that feels like you. Here is the unsettling part. System 1 runs almost everything. Kahneman estimated that the vast majority of your daily decisions, from the route you walk to work to the face you make when a stranger smiles at you, are made by the fast system, not the slow one. System 2 mostly shows up afterward to explain a decision that has already been made. You don't decide to flinch, you flinch, and then you decide you meant to. This is not a flaw in being human. It is, in a strange way, the entire reason you exist at all. Consider what would have happened to an early human who had to consciously think through every threat. A rustle in the bushes. Step 1. Identify the sound. Step 2. Estimate the likelihood of danger. Step 3. Weigh the cost of fleeing versus the cost of staying. By the time that calculation finished, the predator behind the rustle would already be on top of them. The slow thinkers did not become your ancestors. The fast reactors did. Anthropologist Sarah Blaffer Hrdy has written extensively about how early hominin survival depended not just on individual reflexes, but on shared vigilance. Groups of early humans who startled together, who passed alertness from one body to another like a current. A single flinch in one member of the group could trigger a wave of readiness through everyone nearby, long before anyone said a word. The reflex wasn't just personal, it was social, it was contagious, and it kept entire groups alive. That wiring is still inside you. It is why a sudden gasp from a stranger nearby can make your own body tense before you even know what frightened them. You're not weak for reacting. You're functioning exactly as designed. But here is the twist. And it's the part that makes this more than a fact about falling. The same system that once saved your ancestors from a hidden predator in the grass, still firing today, except the predators are mostly gone. What's left is everything else that resembles danger to a brain that cannot tell the difference. A notification sound, a raised voice in a meeting, an unexpected phone call at an odd hour. Your amygdala does not know the difference between a saber-toothed cat and a text message from your boss. It only knows that something arrived suddenly, and suddenness used to mean death. This is why your heart can race over an email. Why a single unread message can put your whole body on alert before you've even opened it. You are not overreacting. You are using ancient hardware in a world that generates 1,000 false alarms a day. Neuroscientist Robert Sapolsky, who spent years studying stress in primates, found something striking. In the wild, an animal's stress response activates, does its job, and then shuts off the moment the danger passes. A gazelle that escapes a lion goes back to grazing within minutes, body fully reset. Humans are different. We can trigger the exact same biological alarm system just by remembering a bad meeting or imagining one that hasn't happened yet. Your body cannot tell the difference between a real threat and an anticipated one. The flinch doesn't need an actual staircase. A thought is enough. So the next time your body reacts before your mind catches up, before you grab the railing, before you brake the car, before you flinch at a sound that turns out to be nothing, you are not malfunctioning. You are running code that is millions of years old, tested in conditions far more dangerous than anything in your current life, and still somehow faster than you. You were never fully in charge. Something older was always watching first. And maybe that's not a loss of control. Maybe that's the reason you're still here to wonder about it at all. Because long before you ever learned to think, something inside you had already learned how to survive.